Leo, something in you has been waiting for the moment when the world finally catches up with the fire you've carried for years, waiting for the curtain to rise, waiting to step into the version of you who doesn't need permission to take up space. That moment is here. The stars are aligning not to give you your crown, but to remind you it was always yours. On May 21st and 22nd, 2025, two rare celestial alignments place you at the center of a shift in power, visibility, and purpose. You're not just being noticed, you're being remembered. And it's not by accident. The Sun, your ruling force, forms a rare trine with Jupiter on May 21st. That's spotlight meeting expansion, confidence meeting divine timing. It's the universe saying, ready or not, you were built for this. And on May 22nd, Venus sextiles Mars. Charm meets drive. Attraction meets momentum. And suddenly, your natural magnetism isn't just a vibe, it's a force of movement. People notice, people respond. And more than that, people follow. But here's what makes this energy sacred. It's not just about being admired, it's about being aligned, about living from the inside out, not outside in. Because real Leo energy isn't a performance, it's a purpose. And this week, the universe is asking, will you stop preparing and start showing up? Not just for applause, but for impact. So let's begin, not with strategy, but with soul. On the morning of May 21st, before anything else touches your energy, wake up slowly. Let the light meet your skin. Let the silence remind you that your presence is already enough. And then declare to yourself, not as a wish, but as a knowing. I am here to be seen. I am here to be chosen. I am here to lead. Say it 3 times, out loud, with your hand on your heart. Let your body believe it before your mind tries to negotiate it. Then, move. Don't wait for inspiration. You are the inspiration. Draft the message, post the story, pitch the offer, introduce the idea, send the DM, make the ask. This is not the time to be shy with your greatness, because when Jupiter dances with the Sun, delays become closed doors. But action, it becomes expansion. You're not chasing, you're claiming. And that's a big difference. At midday, do one thing that positions your name where it belongs, in the center of the conversation. If you're a creative, share your work. If you're a leader, schedule the meeting. If you're an entrepreneur, raise your rate. If you're unsure, pick the thing that scares you. Do it anyway. The trine energy favors boldness, not perfection. By late afternoon, pause, reflect, not on what you did wrong, but on how far you've come without even being at full power. That's humbling and electrifying. Look at your journey. The moments you kept going when no one was clapping. The ideas you nurtured in silence. The resilience you built when the world turned its back. That's your origin story, and it deserves to be seen. As the sun sets on May 21st, write one sentence that defines who you are becoming. Let it be sharp, let it be loud, let it be true. I am the voice of bold joy. I am the name that changes rooms. I am the story no one forgets. Whatever it is, own it, read it aloud. Feel it rise in your chest like a battle cry. You're not waiting to be discovered. You're remembering that you already were. Leo, the stage isn't ahead of you. It's beneath your feet. The only question is, are you ready to own it without apology? May 22nd arrives with a different flavor. Where May 21st asked you to expand, May 22nd dares you to embody. Venus, the planet of beauty, charm, self-worth, and attraction, is now holding hands with Mars, the planet of instinct, drive, and unapologetic desire. And for you, Leo, this isn't just about how you look. It's about how you move, how you speak, how you enter the room and shift the atmosphere without even trying. This energy doesn't whisper, it doesn't negotiate, it says, own who you are, or watch someone else wear your crown. So start this day by dressing with devotion. Not for anyone else, but for yourself. Put on what makes you feel magnetic. Walk past the mirror, pause, smile. Not because you're checking, but because you're witnessing. You're witnessing someone who's no longer hiding behind potential. You're the moment. Now act like it. In the first hours of the day, revisit the sentence you wrote the night before. Whisper it under your breath. Now walk like it's already true. Speak like it's already done. Every word you say today is a spell. Every action, a declaration. So be intentional, be deliberate, be bold. Venus-Mars sextile is attraction plus pursuit. So go after what you want. Send the message. Flirt with your destiny. Don't second-guess the nudge that's been tugging at your spirit for weeks. Do you want the deal? The opportunity? The stage? The connection? Go after it. Lions don't wait for invitations. They are the invitation. Midday, take one big leap. It doesn't have to be loud, but it has to be real. Post the vulnerable story. Record the offer. Pitch the partnership. Email the name you think is too out of reach. They're not. They've been waiting for someone like you to show up like you mean it. Your energy today is contagious. Not because you're trying to be liked, but because you're lit up from the inside. And people can feel that. They don't follow perfection. They follow presence. You don't need to prove. You need to express. Later in the afternoon, check in with yourself. Ask, am I showing up from my essence or my performance? There's a difference. Essence doesn't beg. Essence doesn't chase. Essence magnetizes. You don't need to do more. You need to be more of who you are. That's the Leo advantage. Now, for something radical. Choose one area where you've been dimming. In love, in voice, in value. Name it, call it out. Write it down. I've been minimizing myself in this space. Then right beneath it, write the truth. Not anymore. Do something in the next hour that reflects that. Raise the price. Say the no. Say the yes. Say the truth. Cool back your power in real time. That's what May 22nd is for. When evening comes, light a candle again. Not for ritual, for remembrance. This is your fire. This is your throne. This is the moment when Leo no longer tries to be chosen. Leo chooses themselves. Stand in front of the mirror. No makeup, no filters, no performance, just you. Look into your own eyes and say, I am not afraid of my light. I do not dim to be accepted. I am allowed to take up space, fully, wildly, beautifully. Say it again, slower, with breath. Let the words wrap around the parts of you that once felt too loud, too much, too ambitious. Because Leo, you are too much. And that's the point. You weren't born for shadows. You were born to set the sky on fire, and the sky is ready. But Leo, let's be real, you've been here before. The fire builds, the signs align, the feeling rises, and then you hesitate. Not because you're unsure, but because you're too used to shrinking right before the breakthrough. Because somewhere along the way, someone told you that your light made others uncomfortable. So you dimmed it. You made yourself smaller, more digestible, more polite. But here's the truth you've been avoiding. That version of you was never sustainable. You were not meant to survive in pieces. You were meant to lead whole. So here's your choice now. In this exact moment. Not someday. Not when it's safe. Not when it's perfect. Now. You can keep waiting, keep second-guessing, keep pretending that the world isn't hungry for the real you. Or you can step forward, fully, fiercely, finally. Because if you don't, something else will happen. You won't just delay your next level, you'll distort it. You'll keep showing up as a watered-down version of your potential. People will feel your power, but question your conviction. Opportunities will pass by, unsure whether you're truly ready. And you'll feel it, that ache. That inner whisper that says, I was made for more, but I waited too long. That is the true danger of ignoring this portal. Not failure, but almost. Almost confident, almost clear, almost great. And Leo, let's be honest, almost has never satisfied you. You were made to break ceilings, to create movements, to turn your name into a frequency, to remind people what audacity looks like when paired with heart. And the only thing standing in the way of that is the version of you that still believes you're not ready. But you are. Not because you're perfect, but because you're willing. You're willing to show up, willing to risk, willing to burn if it means you rise higher. So breathe. Place your hand on your chest. Feel the pulse of your becoming. Say it now, out loud. I am ready. I am rising. I am already who I was waiting to become. Let it sink into your bones. Let it override the doubts. Let it melt the masks. Because this exact moment is the line in the sand. The chapter that says, I stopped waiting and I started leading. Leo, you've been called many things, too bold, too bright, too much. Good. Let them keep saying it. You are never here to be manageable. You are here to be memorable. So make this portal count, not just for you, but for the future version of you who's already watching, whispering, "Yes, that's who I knew we were all along." So now what? What happens when you've said yes to the fire inside you? What happens when you finally step in, not to impress, but to impact? You start moving differently. You start asking better questions. You stop wondering how to get attention and start wondering how to use it. Because real power isn't about being seen. It's about being remembered. It's about walking into a room and changing its temperature. Not with noise, but with presence. And Leo, you were made for that. So here's what happens next. You lead. Even when it's uncomfortable. Even when your voice shakes. Even when no one claps right away. You stand tall in spaces that once made you question your worth. You set your rate, and don't flinch. You tell your story, and don't soften the edges. You say no, and don't feel guilty. You ask for more, and don't apologize. Because the version of you who once needed approval, she's not here anymore. Now it's about alignment. Now it's about walking like your vision is inevitable, because it is. So, take out your journal. Write a letter to your future self, 1 year from today. Start with this. Thank you for not shrinking. Thank you for saying yes to the moment. Because of that, this is now my reality. And describe it. The life, the work, the impact, the energy, the joy. Be vivid, be bold, be exact. This isn't just visualization. This is energetic time travel. This is you placing your signature on a future you already deserve. When you're done, fold the page. Seal it in an envelope. Write this on the front. To the Leo who showed up, keep it. This is your contract with your next level. Then, look around your space. What needs to change in your environment to reflect who you're becoming? Maybe it's a messy desktop. Maybe it's old vision boards that no longer fit. Maybe it's a conversation you've outgrown. Clear it, burn it, shift it, update it. Because your energy is the signal, and clutter confuses the signal. Leo doesn't chase. Leo attracts through clarity. This is how you begin to build a field that reflects who you are now, not who you used to be. And you'll notice something else too. The right people start arriving. The aligned opportunities appear. The money flows faster. The support feels easier. Why? Because you stopped asking for it from lack and started commanding it from truth. And when that happens, Leo, that's when you become unforgettable, not just to others, but to yourself. You finally become the version of you who believes the mirror, not because it flatters you, but because it reflects you. You see your own fire, and instead of fearing it, you bow to it, because it's not here to destroy you. It's here to build your legacy. So here we are, at the edge of the portal, the final breath before the leap becomes legacy. You've spoken the truth. You've owned your power. You've moved with boldness. Now it's time to claim the reward. But here's the thing most people forget. The real reward isn't the money, or the followers, or the recognition. It's you. The you who no longer flinches when seen. The you who speaks without shrinking. The you who creates not to be liked but to be felt. And that Leo changes everything. Because when you walk into a room with that energy, the universe shifts. People pause, and legacy begins. This isn't just your big moment. This is your blueprint moment. The one where everything forward now builds upon this choice. The choice to be visible, the choice to be honest, the choice to be undeniably you. So here's what you do next. Not someday, not when it feels safer. Now, you anchor it. Tonight, before you sleep, stand before your mirror one final time. No makeup, no filters, just you. Place your hand over your heart. Look yourself in the eye and say, I do not shrink to fit the room. I expand and the room adjusts. I am not afraid of my brilliance. I am here to radiate. I do not chase light. I am the light. Let the words sink in. Let them echo. Let them rewire the very bones of your identity. Because Leo, your future is not found. It's forged. With every step, every breath, every bold, imperfect, courageous move. And if you ever doubt it, come back to this portal, to these 48 hours, to the moment when you remembered who you are. Not just a performer, a leader, not just a flame, a force. So comment, I own my fire below. Not for anyone else, for yourself, as a signal, as a stake in the ground, as a promise that you will not go back. And then rise, speak, lead, love, create. Because Leo, this world doesn't need more noise. It needs your roar, not to drown others out, but to wake them up. You are not here to be liked, you are here to be legendary. And legends don't wait, they move, so move. The portal is open, the fire is lit, your future is listening. Now go give it something to echo.